Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Zwift Community Live broadcast of the KISS Europe race out on Watopia for 4 laps today. Riders are getting going out on the course for the A race as we speak. We also are going to be covering the C race today. By popular request, we have had a lot of people actually asking for more of the C and B races. So we're definitely going to be jumping into those as well. Just need to do a couple of house cleaning things here real quick on the broadcast, but we do have part of the announcements recently coming out of Zwift, the announcement of the winner of the Team Dimension Data Zwift Academy has been announced. We're going to go ahead and play on through that as we get the racers up on board. If you haven't heard so already, go ahead and check this out, and we'll be right in here with some racing with the KISS Racing Series out on the Watopia Flat.
If someone told me at the start of the year that I would have got to a World Tour training camp using Zwift, I would have laughed at them, and now we're here waiting to find out who's about to get onto the Dimension Data Continental team, so it's pretty insane.
A big part of the final itself is to see how they integrate with the team and the staff. The beauty of this is that these are under 23 riders that are already, all 3 of them are exceptional in terms of their powers and their power to weight figures. Certainly one of them that I think can really develop that in the coming years, and future's bright for sure for him.
Yeah, I mean, they've been some of the nicest guys I've met. What an experience for each and every one of them.
Whoever's going to be the first male guy to join the Pro Peloton from Zwift, it's changing cycling.
Everything that's happened this week has been a highlight. Pretty nervous. I guess like it hasn't really hit me.
Pretty nervous. Yeah, like a lot rests on this decision.
3 finalists, 1 pro contract.
So the rider that'll be on the 2018 Team Dimension Data Continental team is Ollie.
You got it, The week's been phenomenal. It just tops it off. Yeah, for sure. I feel bad for the other guys because we're all the same. We're all at the same level, and it's just so grateful to everyone involved and moves Italy.
Oh, obviously a little bit disappointed, but nah, stoked for Ollie. He deserves it, and yeah, we'll see him in the World Tour in a few years.
It's motivated me so much to try and make it to this next level. It's definitely been like a life-changing week.
Yeah, I meant what I said. All 3 of you would have been amazing assets to our team. So
thank you.
It's anything is possible. Okay.
We couldn't have asked for a better group of riders to contest the final. Any one of them could have been worthy winners.
Good job. Well done.
Cheers.
Super happy for you. It'll be a privilege to have you in the team.
Thank you.
Bicycles change lives for communities in need and for young Ollie Jones.
All right, we're back at you, hopefully, with a better voice on the day. 46 seconds to the start of the C category here. We do have the A category riders out on the course, though, right as we speak, and it does look like they're heading outside of Ocean Boulevard. Going to be one of the only places that we know of out on course that we usually see any kind of attacks out on the Watopia flat course. 8 dice there heading toward the front. It looks like there's actually quite a few new riders actually out on Zwift today. Jay Tardy, though, a well-known rider from the KRT team, making himself known toward the front end of the race. MP there from WBR. Jay Olsen coming out of Denmark. MD from the BRT team, and Gavin Richardson trying to get away. 94 racers, though, in the C category, taking off right now. And definitely the largest category, the largest number of riders in that category today, comparatively between all of the races, with 94 currently killing it right now in the C category. Taking off now, the pace from the get-go looks to be not quite as much of orange numbers getting going right from the start here. 5.9 watts per kilogram. We do see a couple trying to push the pace. It is definitely still the well-known Zwift type starts all out from the gun, but I think that we may see with this many riders much more difficult time to get away right from the get-go, as the more there are in the pack, the more the peloton can work together to pull you right back in. SN here from the BRT team here, as you can see, using that power tap kit is the one that BRT is usually. Wow, BRT actually in force here in this C category. They're showing up with at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 riders. As you can see, it is going to be M. Cope here, Heath up toward the front, as well as Briggs. We do see McGeever here coming out of Ireland. Long time Zwift to recognize that name for years now out on Zwift. Doman here, as well as Skido. Is it Skido? I believe they're over on the right-hand side there. Williamson is there as well. It looks like BRT as well as Z-Sun are pretty much doing a takeover today of the C category race. We're definitely going to keep eyes on that. M. Tiffany is there as well. And there is a little bit of a break right up front here with Goodson. Now just trying to find that wheel. If anyone who falls off right here may not see the front end of this race again. With 100 racers or so in this race right now, it's definitely sitting at the back end of the pack. Is going to be a disadvantage being unable to see when the brakes are going. And already this is a chase group that has formed with 8 seconds back to Peterson riding for the Vikings team. 2 seconds up, it will be Thorstead there, just barely just trying to claw his way back onto the back end of this front running group right now. Kleifel there out of Germany, Clifford, Bennett, Keeley as well. Now this first chase group now forming actually here, excuse me, that front group is just pounding the pace right now amongst those BRT riders. Bolt Racing Team here has shown up to dominate the C category here in the KISS race out there today. And usually on a flatter course like this, I would say it's going to be a more tactical race. It's going to be a race in which riders are going to be trying to find wheels and hang out amongst the peloton throughout. But I was completely incorrect there. From the get-go, BRT has pushed this pace, and with so many riders in this pack, the back end of the group, I believe, was just unable to see what kind of pace was being set at the front and lost track of exactly where things were at with those wheels that they had to hold. All right, now we do have, I believe, social media integration here. I'm going to just double check, because I think we did have a couple of struggles getting the broadcast up. It looks like the broadcast is going to just be over at twitch.tv/Zwift Community Live. Zwift Community Live. So it looks like it was shared. For some reason, is not connecting over at Facebook. So I am watching the Twitch chat, as it looks like social media integration will only be through Twitter today. I am double checking that to see if we are going to be having the race broadcast right now over at, and no, it was just a 1-minute broadcast, it looks like, over at Facebook. So it looks like Facebook may be struggling a little bit and now there's a 1-minute video of our broadcast being shared all over the place. I absolutely love it, Johnny. I think that that's the way that we are going to have people heading on over here to the Twitch channel. So it looks like Twitch is the place to be today. Good to see you there, Relent, as well as Victor WD. And Victor WD says, yeah, boy, live stream is real. Good luck to all riders. And thanks for doing the commentary again, bro. Keep up the good work. No problem, Victor. Appreciate you being here. And we are working our way through it. That is for sure. Now, we do have, it looks like, another attack going on from Skjoldal here from the BRT team coming out of Norway. 5.0 watts per kilogram up to the top. Now, remember, for the C category, there's A, B, C, and D categories amongst these races. And so for the C category, the assumption is 2.5 to 3.2 watts per kilogram. For the B category that they're catching up to pretty quickly actually here, it is the assumption of 3.2 to 4.0 watts per kilogram. That is how many watts that they can hold for a 1 hour or FTP of functional threshold power, how many watts they can hold divided by their weights in kilogram, and that's their watts per kilogram ratio. It is assumed that their FTP is going to be somewhere between 2.5 and 3.2 for this C category. And in this C category, as you can see here, on the right hand side of the course, you can see there where my cursor is the signification of their category, but then right underneath their names, you can see their current watts per kilogram as well. So I think ZwiftPower.com may be having some server issues right now. I'm going to see if we can bring them up, but as the moment, server status over at ZwiftPower.com is currently offline. So we'll have to wait and see if we can get those servers back up. And then the over at ZwiftPower.com, a community resource that is amazing resource, and you can feel the hurt of what happens when Zwift Power is not up and running. So because the reality is we can't go in and see who amongst this group is putting out the most effort, who amongst the group is maybe over category limits or within category limits, or where their max heart rates might be, or what their past results might be. So again, amazing community resource we use almost in all of the broadcasts, as well as all of the racers and riders of group rides are using on a daily basis. So huge shout out to those guys, and I hope servers come back sometime soon. And David Williams saying, I have to go to work, going to miss an hour. Sorry to say, well, we all got to work at sometimes, right? Joined Zwift 3 months ago, went full throttle, went from FTP of 180, Victor says, to 238. Wham, bam, thanks to Zwift, my man at Johnny Zwift. That's huge gains, Victor. I'm really glad to hear that. Huge gains. All right, so it looks like within the C category, though, now we do have more of a Grupo Compacto situation. They are going to be heading into the SEs here in just a moment, and that is usually the spot out on course that there is an opportunity to try and get away, but I think it's going to be mainly Grupo Compacto. Around the corner here, there's a left-hand turn. There's a little bit of a false flat right here and a 1% incline. And you can always see the incline in the upper right-hand corner, actually, as you can see where my mini-map is here. You can actually see all the riders that are nearby. There is a chase group that is a part of the C category in blue, actually, as you can see, making a chase, but they are, I think, a full 20 seconds or so back. As they make this left-hand turn, I'm going to snake around through this section and then take another left-hand turn over toward the Italian village. And right there is a little uphill gradient. They may see an attack or two through there. Back in with the A category, though, as we do have them rounding out their first lap now. And it looks like we do have a solid group here within this A category of about, it looks like, I want to say 30 riders or so. Now, M. Schrabat here coming out of the US of A. Not familiar with this rider. Has a verified badge on. And I'm wondering if perhaps that is for a professional triathlete or domestic pro, perhaps out on Zwift here today, riding out of the US of A. We'll see if we can get more information on that from ZwiftPower.com once those servers are back up and running today. And now we are seeing Leo saying new compare feature on Zwift Power is awesome. Very welcome from ZwiftPower.com. Thanks to Zwift, I can eat more cookies. Andrew Pankey is in the house. Andrew, this guy has been racing his bike at 2 a.m. Banky coming from the WBR team, chatting over at Twitch. Good to see him there. David Williams getting timed out over at chat, getting a little bit too much ZVA going on for us here. Message deleted. Matt Trabat is who it is. He is a professional triathlete, it looks like, out on Zwift. I assume that's who it must have been, a professional triathlete, as Nathan is not on the ahead of the curve when it comes to all things triathlon. But good to see him out on Zwift. Oops, can't link his website. No, I got it. We definitely got the website. Thank you so much, Dafford, for that link. And it looks like for results, let's go ahead and see who Matt is and what he has been up to, maybe. See if he does have a good bio up here. It looks like Ironman Boulder took a second in that back on June 11th, 7th in Racine, Wisconsin here, local actually, 70.3, a seventh place in that. Boulder, he took another second place in the 70.3. Second place in the 70.3 in Cozumel, Mexico, and another second place in Los Cobos, actually over in Mexico. So looks like he's got one more to go here over in Argentina, Mar del Plata. So it looks like Mark Schrabat here is actually training up for an upcoming triathlon for 70. Is it another 70.3 or is it? No, it's an Ironman. Excuse me. Ironman, using some Zwift training actually and racing to try and get that race of fitness into the legs. And that race is on the 3rd, actually, of December. So this must be part of his peaking process, as it's only about a little under 2 weeks away, actually. So Mark out here killing it in the KISS race right now. I wonder if he's going to do this race plus a little extra training on top of it. He might have actually already been out there riding a little bit, jumping into a race, riding a little bit more. A lot of times when I had big days out on Zwift, I definitely would be using the races as a little bit of push and distraction from the reality of pushing on all day long for 5 hours straight. It was always great to have that as motivation and to put a little bit of intensity in the middle of my longer rides. So it does look like we are having a second dimension out here out on Zwift. We'll see if we can get the A racers back with us. I'm going to have to do a relog, I believe, as I have found myself back at the pens in the main A's. Johnny, you might want to clip that section right there so that everybody can, so that we can send that in for some looks there. But it does look like we will have that C race, and you know, by popular demand, that's what we were looking for, was a C race, and we are going to. I'm almost kind of not happy, but you know, it is almost like a little bit fortuitous that we would end up with only the C category to look at here, as the community had cried out, give us more coverage of the categories that most of the riders out on Zwift are riding in. So that is what we are going to do. So it looks like, just double checking here, seeing if Mr. Johnny, hope you got that clip. Otherwise, we'll get a highlight out for it as well of how things played out with the second dimension. I'm also going to see if I can hit that follow a rider button. I have to see who is in the race that I can follow along with the A category. But BRT, again, we were saying through this section of the course, this is the place right here on the Essies that usually riders will be able to try and get away. It's really only that little uphill grind outside leaving the underground, as well as this section right here through the Essies here. It doesn't look like anybody was really able to get anywhere just as of yet, though. We're going to go ahead and use Mr. Gavin Richardson from the innovation team, though. We're going to push ride with Gavin. We'll see if we can find him out on course. It does look like they're heading over through it looks like they're heading through the monument section over toward the S-turns that we were chatting about just a little while ago. And we do have Gavin Richardson. It looks like Soren Bay is in there as well, and a few others in that A category race. So we are back in with him, but we do see all other racers out on course, though. So it is going to definitely be a little more difficult to follow up the race, but I believe we will be able to do so here. As we do have Jay Phillips, Metcalf, and a few others up toward the front. As I am clicked on a race, I do believe it's going to hold me within those boundaries. So here we are, we're back in with him. Now it seems MP here from Race WBR, Jay Phillips, Richards is still in there as well. Still a large group in this A category. Not going anywhere just as of yet. And as we said earlier, once they get the solid front group on this flat course, it's always difficult to get away. Still 4 laps, 2.5 to go, 2.5 to go. 40 is in here, most likely the favorite in this A category race right now. Now, where is 40? Did he actually push join with? I was seeing him just a moment ago for his name, but I'm not seeing him. There he is, actually. 40 is right there, the man himself, and he is definitely going to be one of the favorites out there to be taking the win amongst them. T. Kalin's here off the back, though, coming from the KRT team, not going to be hanging on at this point. Charbot now is there as well, and maybe on a longer ride out here today, not able to hang on with the boys. Perhaps, though, it was from a dropout and not able to hang in with the rest. Maybe it's been neutralized a little bit, but we are seeing a couple pushing up toward the front as we do have, it looks like, Hop Stadius here coming out of Sweden, pushing at the front here. MP, Tardy, Fleetwood, Metcalf there as well. And now back in with that C category races, they head into Ocean Boulevard, though. BRT still dominating. Let's go ahead and take a look real quick here. Heath there coming from Canada up toward the front. International field, Germany, Canada. We are seeing Ireland as well as the US of A all represented right now, and as well as Australia with an early morning over in the land down under. But it does look like Z-Sun and the BRT team still dominating here in this C category race. We do have social media integration up if you guys want to interact. The way that you need to do that today is by tweeting at Z Community Live, tweeting at Z Community Live. You can interact directly with the broadcast by tweeting at Z Community Live. We'll actually use Fish, streamer actually of Zwift, over on Twitch. Fish last night was tweeting, come on, Scotty, during the eCrit series, actually, USA, and actually Scotty did take the W actually last night in the eCrit series. But if you would like to interact with the broadcast, go ahead and do so by tweeting at Z Community Live, at Z Community Live, and we can bring in any of your interactions directly. Questions, comments, or even media. We can bring in any pics of your Zwift setup or pain caves or anything else Zwift related. We will definitely want to check those things out. So coming in here with the A category that we do see, it looks like MD from the BRT team, Jay Tardy, KRT as well. 166 beats per minute currently, so definitely a tempo pace or so. Richards there out of Australia with C. Thomas. It does look like Rotert here coming out of the Netherlands there up toward the front as well. A few of these names are definitely new, as we do have a huge influx into Zwift during the Zwift season. And it'll be interesting to see if there are any riders here that are newer to the world of Zwift that might be able to get the better of the likes of some of the more experienced racers that we do have out here, such as Gavin Richardson, MD from the BRT team, has a solid sprint for sure. Moore is out there as well. We are seeing Tardy here kicking to 8 watts per kilogram. You see the feather power-ups being thrown down through this section that is just a little uphill grading, about 5% grading, as you can see here. This is the SCs right here that they are moving through. Let's go ahead and get a helicopter view. They will move their way through all of these undulations, quick little steep punchers of climbs. It takes about 15 to 30 seconds to climb each one of them. Usually you see those orange numbers through there, and sometimes you do have the ability to drop a few off through these sections. It's up and out of the saddle, all in usually for the sprints, and then rests on the downhills looking for those wheels. Now up to the front again, we're seeing attack here coming from 40. Super accomplished time trialist. Him and Mr. Allenby, as well as Tim out of the UK, have a long-standing, I believe, battle in the TT world over in the UK. So 40 here is going to be pushing the pace a little bit, 4.5 watts per kilogram, not going anywhere just as of yet. If they do allow 40 to get off the front, though, it will be a difficult day to bring him back, as once he gets into a rhythm and off the front with a solid threshold pace, it's always a difficult day to bring 40 back into the fold. And we do have interception here coming from Mr. Jonathan Abbott, watching the broadcast over at Twitch right now. Good to, wait a second, interactionception coming from, excuse me, not interception, but interactionception coming here from Jonathan Abbott with his pit post of his current view of our Twitch stream. Thanks a lot, Johnny, I appreciate that very much. I do see that we do have a lot of new people hanging out over at the Twitch stream right now. Make sure, if you haven't done so already, hit that follow button. I'll go ahead and show over at the Twitch channel, as that is the place that you can get push notifications anytime that we do go live to your email, as well as your Twitch app. You can go ahead and download the Twitch app and watch any of your favorite streamers for Zwift over at twitch.tv, and that is also where we will be doing anything that has to do with any partnerships or affiliation when it comes to streaming. So definitely that will be what we'll be looking out for, is streamers in that space. So we do have no BK here off the back a little bit, actually, after they went through the Essies. As we said, the Essies is definitely one of the places where they can put the pressure on, turn the screws a little bit through each one of those kicks, up in that 800 watts real quick, rest on the downhills, and that's exactly what happened. More off the back now. We'll give them a ride on. Some encouragement here, 157 beats per minute, 2 laps to go, solid effort coming from Moore, but it's going to be all day tempo for him as he tries to hold off a few of the racers. They're trying to catch him not too far back with Kalen, as well as Mark Sharbot there as well. As we can see here, Moore backing off a little bit, maybe just going for the 2-lapper out there today after he has been dropped off. Jay Bennett here out of Australia with Jay Olsen, as you can see, coming out of Denmark. Schwartz here after a solid ride yesterday in the eCrit series, actually. Looks like showing up. He actually races in the West Series, I believe, somewhere within the top 5, I believe, at this point. Maybe 6 for, I believe, the West Series. I might be incorrect there. He is sitting somewhere within the top 6, I believe, within either the Central or the West. And now jumping back out here for another kick at Zwift Racing, a kick in the pants, maybe. We do have a few off the front, though, after that section, and maybe that's why we're seeing things break apart at the back end of this race, because of the pace that's been sent at the front end. MP, a lot of times after these initial breaks, the reason why they happen is because the pace was so incredibly high that riders just couldn't close the gap down any longer, and there is a reprieve. There's a little bit of okay, we got to just rest up at this point. We've got nothing left in the legs, and now we do see Richardson, MP, as well as 40 all working together to get away now from that chasing group that I think just doesn't have the wattage any longer to bring anything back. Bay now making his way to the front here out of Denmark, though. He's saying not done yet. Up in the 5.6 watts per kilometer, 157 beats per minute. Going to be dragging this peloton up. KRT there also motivated with an aero power up. It's only 15 seconds. They are not involved in the break at this point. KRT Tardy now kicking 7 watts per kilogram, using that speed with that aero power up, looking to bridge the gap. He's going to need 6 watts per kilogram all the way through to that wheel, though. Only a 1 second difference between him and the rest of the riders, though, but he is doing it quickly here. 9 seconds. It's within 10 seconds. It's definitely doable. He's not within 50 meters, though, right now. Has to keep on kicking right on through. 32 miles per hour, as we're seeing from him. 29 from these riders. So he has the speed to do it, but the seconds, they come back so slowly. And you have in your mind, oh, it's only 6 seconds. I can close that down. It's only, but it's not a 6-second effort. It's like a 1 minute effort. All you have, VO2 max, to close this down. We do see this group 3 seconds back. Man, on this flat course, you would never expect this kind of tactical racing at this point. Schwartz now up at the front, 5.1, trying to drain it back. Tardy tried. He did everything he could to get back there, but now 4.3, 40 at the front, saying, no way, we are working together. Keep it steady. You don't have the VO2 to bring this back. And so now we are back in with the C categories. These guys are establishing their break for sure at this point. So now coming out of the Essies, I believe we do see, just coming out of the Essies, actually, entering the Essies, actually entering into the, entering into the Italian village here. We do have a Kie Boda here out of Japan. That's not an Allison, though. No duck out on course. as we are seeing the BRT still dominating with SN. We do see Z-Sun, though, with Taylor there as well. Longa coming out of Norway as they head into the sprint section. We'll keep eyes on this pack. It does look like fairly Grupo Compacto, though, at this point. We'll see if we have another attack, though, maybe that could cause a little bit of a breakup of this group out on course. We'll have to see if they can make something happen here, as this has been a huge group, and if it comes down to a sprint, it's going to be anybody's game. Aero power-up, you're going to want a few to get away if they do want to have a good chance, because you don't want to roll that dice too much when it comes to the packs out on Zwift. It does a lot of times end up being a little bit more RNG in the sprints, or very tactical as to whether or not riders are able to grab the win full on for those sprints out there out on course. So it doesn't look like anybody's going to be trying to get away just as of yet, though. One off the front maybe for that sprint section, though, trying to grab that jersey. And we are seeing 26 seconds there for Olaf. Did I say Olaf? Is that actually what it said there? Some let it go here. No, it was actually Orf Stee up toward the front there of the sprint section there. But now are catching a few of these B category riders. Heath now up to the front, 5.3 watts per kilogram. We are seeing now over the shoulder there of, it looks like, Harlick as well with a feather power up. A lot of drafting power ups being used. And now again, there are 2 sections out on course here that you can grab a power up. And it's always because the more sections there are to grab power-ups, a lot of times people will take more risks at the dice roll on getting the best power-ups that they can. So a lot of times you do see them being used almost immediately, especially if riders are suffering. As soon as they grab them, like through that sprint section right there, we saw the feather power-ups, the drafting power-ups. You didn't see many arrows, though, as a lot of riders may be holding on to those at this point in order to wait for that final sprint, because the final sprint definitely depends a lot on that section, a lot on that arrow power up. Looking through the social media integration here from Dave Broadman saying, at Z Community Live, what do you think about, okay, let's check this out real quick. This is a great question actually here coming from David Broadman actually, and he says, Zwift Community Live, what do you think about adding some incentive for other categories in the crit series in future? And Dave Broadman, that's actually a really great question. I think the nature of the crit series is such that it's all about the invite, right, in January. So perhaps as the now again, this is a discussion that we're having. This is not Nathan. This is Nathan. I'm Nathan. This is a discussion that we are having as a community here. This is not Zwift official in any way whatsoever. It's a great question, Dave. From my perspective as a community member, I would say that, and not as Zwift official or anything like that, I would say that we would need to have a larger push into LAN events like the crit series that have the invites at the end. And so having that incentive, the incentive I could see is having different categories at those events as well, and then being able to qualify for them, and maybe getting to a point where each category could field different teams and riders that could try and make it into that final. And it would have to function, though, I think, a little bit differently in its model in some ways, though, for that. But I definitely think that could be one way. For just participation, I think you could have maybe some in-game, you could have some in-game goodies, right? So participation, if you do the whole eCrit series, you get an in-game kit. You do the whole eCrit series, you get an eCrit bike. You do the whole eCrit series, you get some in-game maybe gold if gold comes down the line and you can buy things from a store. I think that there will be much more incentive things that we can that will be used down the road once they are implemented in the game, like being able to buy things from a store, perhaps. And so just completing the series then would then open up for you resources that you can use in game to get cool things that are in the game. So I think that could be one way to do it. So those are two different things that people could do for sure. Or, well, people could do, Zwift could do. One would be having categories specific to those at the final. Now, that would be a huge event. And I think that maybe for LAN events like that, arena events like that, it might be more focused on tournament styles with multiple events. So I think maybe the incentive is more toward the in-game goodies that you can get from participating in the series. E-Fish, that is actually exactly what we are after, as he participates in the conversation over at Twitter as well. Guys, chat is getting a little bit too much for me over at Twitch. If you want to get some communication, go ahead with the broadcast. Go ahead and tweet at ZCommunityLive, at ZCommunityLive, and we will definitely look at grabbing your comment and bringing it on into the broadcast. Heading into the bell lap here, it looks like things were broken apart early on by the likes of 40 and the rest. Did they catch them, though? Do they have over 30 seconds at this point, or did they get swallowed up by the blob, the pack? At this point, it does look like Richardson is back in the pack. I believe 40 as well was caught. If Richardson was, we'll have to double check on that. Looking for that UK flag here from Mr. 40, but we are seeing Tardy up toward the front there, as well as MP, but Tardy is definitely not Tardy to the wattage bazooka here that's going on the front, always up toward the front of this race here. Metcalf is there as well with MP. Richards, MDKW40 is there as well, riding unattached, hammering away 4.0 watts per 165 beats per minute right now. About to catch a few of the lap riders out there. A few riders here maybe on the rivet off the back here. Tardy here 2.8. Jay Lecoq is there as well, riding for the KRT team. We'll give him a ride on. Tardy at the back now, though. KRT maybe suffering a little bit. Hop Stadius there, riding for the Swedish team now at the back as well. 178 beats per minute. Let's take a look at some of these heart rates. 159. Hopstadius 40 there, 159. We are seeing Hopstadius, always Hopstadius. It looks like 158 here coming from our Wood. Maybe not too high up into that max. Sorry, Jay Olsen now sitting in a little bit, looking for that wheel. It looks like at a tempo pace. Phillips there, 177 though, killing it out of Wales there. It looks like 160 there currently for with 183 coming out of A Buzz, killing himself, it looks like, to hang on with these boys, riding for hashtag Ellen's Law. They're out of Ellen's Law, out of Canada. 40 now with a little bit of attack, though, has a gap of 6 meters. If he continues on, he may be able to go with this for the lap, but it's going to be a huge dice roll and a match burn to make that happen here. Now back in with the C category. It is still full-on Grupo Compacto in the C category. Let's move forward here and see if anybody has gone off the front. Harvey we are seeing there, as well as Aikido. It does not look like anybody just yet has been able to break this group of about 30 riders or so in this C category. McDonald there, Heath, Mo, D. O'Connor out of Ireland. As you can see, S. Kubota here as well, as it looks like a few more BRT boys, but it does look like some of the Z Sun boys unable to hang on to the pace that was set. But Taylor's still in there. As we look down from the top here, I think he is the only one left. Oh no, there's one in the back there as well. As I'm looking through for the names, I'm looking for in the name the Z Sun in there, but I'm not seeing it at this moment. Who the other rider is, I believe it is N. Hughes, actually. N. Hughes in there making his way up. So Taylor and Hughes there maybe going to be having a little bit of a battle with the BRT boys here with a lap and a half to go. Lap and a half to go in this C category race. Here's a kick now, 4.3 watts per kilogram coming from Herman from the BRT team here, 171 beats per minute, trying to get away. Skodal here coming out of Norway from the BRT team. It looks like Z-Sun hanging on with that arrow power up as well. Tiffany there from the BRT team, and Tiffany followed up by Doman now. And it looks like Damon here right along with the rest, trying to just grab the wheel of those who are rotating at the front. The rest of the pack getting the advantage from that rotation at the front end of the course, with the mountain in the background there, boys and girls, heading on through the marina now, as you can see from the helicopter view, past the boats and on over into the piers here. And it's going to be more Grupo Compacto as they head through the dirt section. We do have a few dropping off the back though. Briggs from those attacks actually unable to hang on with Murray. Murray trying to take that pole up toward the front here. This is a new flag in game I'm going to have to get familiar with now, with BMO up toward the front there of that pack, waiting up maybe for his teammate, but Murray right along with Briggs trying to make the poles through. 3.0 watts per kilogram, but Hughes just hanging on at the right place on the front end of this course as they headed outside of that climb out of Ocean Boulevard. That was the right move actually by Hughes, as he worked his way backwards now to the back of this pack and was able to rest up a little bit and find himself at the back of the pack as it slowed down, but always toward the front on the climbs. Those little bit of meters actually do matter. Make sure you are at the front end of those packs, pushing the pace a little bit, because as soon as you come over the top, you can have a little bit of reprieve, move backwards at a tempo pace. And as you can see here, Briggs, and it looks like Briggs and Murray suffering 1 second at a time right now. The torture is real, boys and girls. This is like waterboarding at this point, man. Look at these guys, little by little, as you can see here, just being pushed backwards, doing everything they can to get as much oxygen into those legs in order to try and grab back onto the back of these wheels here. But we can see Briggs here 3 seconds off the back. Murray might be able to do it up at that 4.2 watts per kilogram. And if you know what this flag is, I do not. I am not cultured, I guess, or something. But let me know what this flag is. New flag in game. I've seen the Welsh flag. I've seen the Isle of Man flag, but I am unfamiliar with this one. But it looks like Murray, Mo, as well as Space Cowboy is in there as well, coming from the same country. Andy ODZ is there as well. So shoot at me at Z Community Live over on Twitter, at Z Community Live. Let me know what that addition is to the world of Zwift here. So back in with the A category racers as they make their way around for their final time through Ocean Boulevard here. You can see there was a little bit of attack, I think, for Metcalf. He has been brought back in at 156 beats per minute currently right now. I'm going to wait and see if we can grab solid. Some of these, we do have instant replay here today. It worked really well actually yesterday. I was really impressed actually with how well it did work out. We'll see if we can get a solid look at the sprint as they make their way through the finish line today. We'll also look and see if we can grab a few of the attacks as they make their way around the course. As they make their way actually out of Ocean Boulevard, see if there are a few that do grab our eye out here today. So let's go ahead and see if we do have ZwiftPower.com up and running yet again. No ZwiftPower.com just yet, so we're gonna have to wait and see what's happening. If there's somebody in the Twitch chat knows what's going on with ZwiftPower.com, let me know. That's actually Scotland. Is that right? Is that actually Scotland? Johnny knows. Thank you so much. So let's go ahead and look through here and see. Congrats to A Banky. He's at level 30. No, you're not level 36. Frank is just being silly. There is no level above 25 unless you are me. I'm at level 36. Congrats to A Banky. Thanks, Frank. I put a sticky note on my monitor to tell me that. And looking through here, I am seeing. So was that new? Because that does not look and I have in my head, of course, for Scotland in my head coming through. I've got for those of you, some of you must be familiar with what I'm talking about here, but I've got a guy jumping on the back of another guy screaming for Scotland in an elevator at this moment because of that addition to the to the game here with the new flag here. So Johnny's going to definitely be all, I think, all over this one with a little bit of ribbon of Nathan here to make sure I hear no end to not knowing exactly what flag that was. Olsen here now on the front, 5.7 watts per kilogram, and we can see he is trying to get away, does not want that sprint at the end of this race. Actually, it seems like Richardson closing it down very quickly, dragging the whole pack, actually not dragging the pack up with him. This may be a break situation as Buzz is trying to pull this back in coming out of Canada. It's good to see Buzz back in game here right along with Shaw out of New Zealand. We'll go ahead and give him a ride on. Richardson 2.8 as he grabs on, is not going to pull through, is not going to try and make this a break. He's looking for a sprint maybe at the end, but Jay Olsen continues at the front here. Now 3.7, now 1.5 though, says, okay, the jig is up. No go on that break. And Victor W is saying that one is golden. Nathan, it is golden. Absolutely love. I'm not even sure what the show is. Somebody I saw, obviously it was in a Facebook feed for those of you who saw what we're talking about. Maybe somebody can let me know exactly what show that is and what that scene might be called, because I have a feeling it doesn't have a name at this point. It's become so incredibly popular. I would love to know. Welsh flag is new also, right? Yes, the Welsh flag is also new in game. I definitely saw dragons with green and red and white out on here. There is the Welsh flag with Jay Phillips hammering away right now, coming out of that area in the United Kingdom. So now looking forward here, Ellen's Law now. It looks like with Mr. Buzz, though, is sitting in, but we do have another attack here going off the front. People do not want this to be a final sprint, so they are starting to kick again. Commissar is going out of Norway with Richardson. 40 actually is the one that instigated, though. This is it right here. 46.5 watts per kilogram coming from him, but Richardson up into the orange numbers, as you can see here. Another kick from him, but 40 here, up and out of the saddle, trying to make this happen before they hit that Essies, and if they can break this apart, there's the gap now. It's actually opened up, as we can see here, through the trees. It has now Bay here 2 seconds back. Soren Bay trying to close that down. Tardy now maybe not going to be involved in this one, but this is the group now about 1 second back. Let's take another look at that real quick here, as we did have an attack come on through, and it looks like, as you can see here, the group there being established there, it's going to be Richardson right along with, it looks like Soren Bay, MP, as well as 40 on the front. So that is the situation currently. Soren Bay just grabbing onto the back end of that group, and they do have established a gap now at this point. Now, about 4 seconds back, though, it will be short trying to pull this in, but these are the strongmen, I think, amongst this great race at this point. With this many up here, as long as they're willing to work together now at this point, we are definitely going to have a heads up sprint between these boys, because I don't think that the riders behind here are going to be able to close that down without some serious VO2 max efforts. 9.3 watts per kilogram coming from Jay Phillips here, with that drafting power up being used pretty early here, with Metcalf here trying to go as well. 7.5 watts per kilogram coming from him. Phillips here now, though, just barely grabbing back onto the back end of this group. He's going to go right along with it. What an amazing effort there coming from Phillips as he grabs back onto this group, and now he's going to make it a group of what looks to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 riders. 7 riders on the front of this race now as they make their way into the Essies now, and it's going to be C. Thomas here now coming out of Australia, hammering away as they make that right-hand turn past the Scotty the Squirrel Fountain. Here we go, boys and girls. It's in the last few K. Let's hear your predictions. Who's it going to be? Shoot a tweet at me at Z Community Live. Let me know in chat. Who's it going to be? Is it going to be Blob versus Blob? David Williams is saying. I think the front runners might be the stronger Blobs versus the other larger Blob out on course. It's not always the bigger Blob that wins, David Williams. And here we go. Bay now, 6 seconds. Is it going to be MP? Is it going to be Thomas? Is it going to be Commissary? Is it going to be Richardson? Will it be 40? Or will Sherrod from OVB be able to pull this back in? Shaw there as well. And now another dimension is coming into the game, boys and girls. The blobs are getting all kinds of blobs everywhere. No. And now we're at the start-finish line, but now we're at the Metcalf. And now we are going to go over to the C category race until they come out of another dimension. What is going on here? But we do have a call out for 40 there. David Williams thinks 40 is going to take it. We'll have to see if that's how it ends up playing out here. Mon Hall is here from the C category up toward the front of this race. No, he is getting lapped actually by the rest of the C category at this point. And so taking a quick little look, we do have Harvey from the BRT team here now. It looks like all back together for that C category. We're going to try and find the riders out on course. S. Bay, Clark. Okay, let's just show this. Clip it, Johnny. Somebody clip this. We got to show it. Clip what's going on here. What is going on? Riders are coming and going and coming and going. They're all over the place. I'm not sure where they're at. They're not sure where they're at. Maybe they know exactly where they're at. Maybe it's on my end, but they're all over the place, as you can see here. And we need a clip of it just so that we can send it and say, hey, here's what's happening out on course as we are spectating the race here. So Richardson here now coming from, it looks like Innovation, trying to find his way into somewhere. At this point, just attack and go, because it's not even going to matter. You just got to attack and go at this point, I think, for the race out here today. Richardson, I believe, at the front end of the race, I think. Metcalf is there as well. MD. C. Thomas is there as well. Soren Bay is there now, it looks like. RT, MD. And now we're back in Brazil. Nice job, Brazil. All right, now we're going to head back to Don't Be Yeoman, Yaglon. I'm not sure. We're just gonna do this. Keeley here as well. Back in. All right, let's go back to the C category. I thought we'd be able to get a solid instant replay here. C. Thomas here does have a solid 15 seconds, maybe. I'm not sure. And SDR suffered from the same problem last week. Gotcha, C. Thomas now kicking at the front here. Bay trying to go. And we'll take another look real quick here. See if we can see what is going on. I believe there is a sprint happening somewhere in another dimension. S. Bay here now closing it down to Thomas, 4.8 watts per kilogram. As you can see, the Danish rider not opening up a sprint just yet because he's not sure where the sprint is going to start with these boys. Richardson with 20 seconds, but not actually, as he's right back in with the riders. Here goes Richards, though. He knows he's got to just go for it and sprint randomly up the course. Now we do see Sherrod here is right along with Phillips. I do believe he did get some advantage from the second dimension here. MP Sherrod now 11.9 watts per kilogram. It looks like that is going to be the win. No, Bay now across the line, 12 watts per kilogram with that aero power, but he disappeared. We'll see if he gets a W, but it will be Phillips here not disappearing. There it is, boys and girls. Phillips across the line. We can at least use the instant replay with Phillips across the line. There's the win there. Phillips, Bay, followed up by the rider coming in for the Vikings there. So just relax. Good effort all. I'm not sure what's going on with Jonathan Geed saying everyone just needs to relax. See, everyone listen to Jonathan. He knows what he's talking about. Back to 2.5. The race is over for those boys. Oh my goodness. That was out of control. The Benny Hill show, Sprinter is saying that was definitely all over the place. That is for sure. Now we are trying to get some coverage here of the race, but it looks like we have been jumping all over for this race out here today. We do have R. McDonald here right along with Herman, Stoldo there as well as Doman, Heath, Harvey, Rules all together still. Nobody able to get off the front of this C category race today. McDonald here maybe giving a little kick off the front here. Solid 2.7 all day long. And as we look over his shoulder, though, the group was able to catch him. So it doesn't look like he's going to be going anywhere just as of yet. We're going to see if we can find the front end of this B category as well. Excuse me. As they make their way around the course. I'm not sure where the actual lead is for the B category, as maybe we won't use that feed at all, actually, as I believe it is a little bit a little bit wacky here. Fish coming through here, letting me know what that flag is. Thank you so much, Fish. I appreciate the tweet as he's letting us know that that new flag in game is Scotland, homie. Freedom. I absolutely love it. So, so for the A category, that's going to be our coverage for the A category. We will definitely be finishing up with some C category racing though here, as they do have a half a lap to go. Half a lap to go. The BRT boys versus the Z Sun boys has kind of been the story here, with a couple of unattached riders in there, but BRT at the front of this C category race for sure in those power tap kits. Sports Spinner, though, up at the front, 4.3 watts per kilogram out of Germany right now, giving a little kick, actually. Is that actually, that's not Spintor over at the Twitch channel, I wonder. But 2.8 watts per kilogram, 171 beats per minute here coming from Sports Spinner right now. McDonald there with 3.3. Herman there as well. D. O'Connor, Skodal now, Murray, all able to hang in, but it's up in that 170s. Definitely suffering going on here now for these boys just to hang on. Dixon's caught by the front end of the C category. Dolman is in there as well. There has been a little bit of a split, though. SN from the BRT team no longer a part of this race at the front. BRT boy here, M. Tiffany here, just grabbing onto the back end of this group. T-Bowles here coming out of the Netherlands with, it looks like, Dixon, Doman, Heath, and then it will be Hughes. Keto now and Murray up to the front. Looks like Scotland trying to get a W here, riding unattached though. This rider here, Skolo now at the front as well, 175. Every one of these riders is in the threshold now, and it looks like Sports Spinner he sees a light at the end of the tunnel here, it looks like a little bit. 4.2 watts per kilogram. He's dying, but he might make it and get this gap. But now as we look over the shoulder, it's been shut down by D. O'Connor at that 4.2 watts per kilogram. Solid effort so far here, but will be 2.8 here coming from McDonald now as he comes around with no heart rate monitor on. Longville now also out of Norway here, and it looks like all back together. Grupo Compacto, nobody going anywhere just as of yet. So let's go ahead and wait up and see what is happening for the sprint. If you haven't seen already, we're going to go ahead and take a quick little break as these boys are heading into their final few kilometers here. And if you haven't seen so already, the Team Dimension Data announcement was made. And we're just going to play through that one more time for you guys. If you're unaware, the winner of the Team Dimension Data Zwift Academy contract for that Continental team has been announced. And now the announcement of the 3 finalists for the Canyon SRAM Zwift Academy on the women's side is about to happen as well. We're going to be heading into the Zwift Academy for the women in the next week, so it's going to be absolutely awesome for that next 3 finalists, and watching who's going to grab that contract for next year with Canyon SRAM. But here it is with the Team DD, and we'll be right back with the rest of yeah, I think we're going to be making it for the sprint.
If someone told me at the start of the year that I would have got to a World Tour training camp using Zwift, I would have laughed at them, and now we're here waiting to find out who's about to get onto the Dimension Data Continental team, so it's pretty insane.
A big part of the final itself is to see how they integrate with the team and the staff. The beauty of this is that these are under 23 riders that are already, all 3 of them are exceptional in terms of their powers and their power to weight figures. Certainly one of them that I think can really develop that in the coming years, and future's bright for sure for him.
Yeah, I mean, they've been some of the nicest guys I've met. What an experience for each and every one of them.
Whoever's going to be the first male guy to join the Pro Peloton from Zwift, it's changing cycling.
Everything that's happened this week has been a highlight. Pretty nervous. I guess like it hasn't really hit me.
Pretty nervous. Yeah, like a lot rests on this decision.
3 finalists, 1 pro contract.
So the rider that'll be on the 2018 Team Dimension Data Continental team is Ollie.
You got it, the week's been phenomenal. It just tops it off, yeah, for sure. I feel bad for the other guys because we're all the same. We're all at the same level, and it's just so grateful to everyone involved. And moves Adelaide.
Oh, obviously a little bit disappointed, but nah, stoked for Ollie. He deserves it, and yeah, we'll see him in the World Tour in a few years.
It's motivated me so much to try and make it to this next level. It's definitely been like a life-changing week.
Yeah, I meant what I said. All three of you would have been amazing assets to our team. So
thank you.
It's anything is possible. Okay.
We couldn't have asked for a better group of riders to contest the final. Any one of them could have been worthy winners.
Good job. Well done.
Cheers.
Super happy for you. Eh? It'll be a privilege to have you in the team.
Thank you.
Bicycles change lives for communities in need and for young Ollie Jones.
So huge congratulations to all the finalists, but especially to Ollie Jones there, grabbing that pro contract in 2018. Super excited for Ollie and what's to come for him. And they keep on chatting that word, world tour, world tour, world tour. And I think that this program of being able to grab a pro contract from your living room through Zwift and the talent identification that can happen through Zwift is absolutely amazing. And I think all those boys, they were able to ride with some of the some of their people that they'd looked up to in the pro peloton for such a long time at that training camp. And like they said, 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, a week ago, from my bedroom, riding on Zwift to earn this absolutely an amazing opportunity. D. O'Connor there with a kick though on through. Looks like he was just going for the sprint section, as you could see there. A little bit of a kick there from him, as you can see, 6.7 watts per kilogram real quick, 183 beats per minute. He had that gap, but I think that was just for the sprinters. We do see him slowing down there on the replay for that sprint. Does grab it though at a 26.12 there within the event though. So solid effort there coming from O'Connor to grab the sprint section out there. But now we do see the attack here coming from T. Bruce. This might be the winning move at this point. We'll have to wait and see if this hangs on all the way through, as we do have McDonald here following it up very closely as well as they come on through this section. There's McDonald on his wheel immediately here. As soon as he saw that come on through there, it was T. Bruce. McDonald now off the front, right along with Harvey about 1 second back. Will they be able to hang on to this gap now? There it is. It is over about 5 meters at this point. Bruce now going right along with McDonald, and it looks like this may be the attack that is going to be making this happen out here today for the C categories. Bruce goes away out of the Netherlands. McDonald from the UK grabs right back on. 6 seconds to Harvey. The BRT boys were going to be the dominating force we thought out here today, but as you can see, they have a couple of unattached riders here going off the front. 5.2 watts per kilogram now, way over their FTP though for these boys in this C category right now for sure. Now O'Connor goes as well, as you do see him making a little bit of a kick and an attack to get back on terms with those riders. So now, as you can see here, O'Connor going to be closing the gap down, but on O'Connor though, as you can see, it is going to be 10 meters back to Longwell. He does not have the draft at this point. This may be his ability to close this down right now. McDonald now kicking again, 6 watts per kilogram, looking to try and get away from the rest of the riders. Bruce is there now, 7.3, still able to hang on, as we can see. Who is going to be the rider though that's been sitting in this entire time, getting the draft from the teammates and then going to kick at the line? I think that's what we're going to see here. I think BRT is playing very, very smart actually for this finale in this C category race, because I think they're communicating well. They're pulling these riders back in, not getting too excited, not getting too out of control of their efforts, and not panicking, playing it correctly, pulling them back in, and then launching a sprint at the end. I predict that's exactly what's going to happen here with these BRT boys. But maybe McDonald can hold off the front, but it's a 6.0 all day long, way over his category limit here. And McDonald here, 107 RPMs as well. Super crazy RPMs here to hold on to that 6.1. Brule's here now trying to go along with it though. Heath and the BRT boys starting to drag things in though. Can they do it though? That's going to be the question all the way to the line. It is still a few seconds up now at this point. Where's the aero power-ups? Where's the kick to the line here? BRT, are they going to make it happen? We can see Herman now here. Where's the final kick there? McDonald 5 seconds up. Nobody's got anything here. Here comes an aero power-up though, but it's too late. 4 seconds can't be closed at this moment, I don't think. But Skodo, here he goes. Now this is the kick we've been waiting for, boys and girls. Skodo, here he goes. BRT, 8.5 watts per kilogram. Can he catch him at the line? Passes McDonald's. Will he get Bruce? But no, it's going to be Taylor. Z's son was waiting for that moment. Herman, BRT there comes in second. Then Skodo, it looks like. not absolutely positive on those exact order. Let's take a double look at that one, as they just come across the line real quickly here. So as we look at them come on through here, you can see it was Skolo on the front, on the front, on the front. Then let's go ahead and slow it right on down, and you can see Taylor Z-Sun goes right on by 11 watts per kilogram coming from him. Herman from BRT is sitting there in second. Skolo there sitting in third place as they come across the line. Watch the right-hand side for the order. They come by Broles. Broles is unable to hang on to even third place, it looks like, as they come across the line. There it is with Taylor. Then it was Skoldo, I believe. Broles just barely hanging on, I think, ahead of Heath, perhaps. Yeah, and I think Broles was able to hold on to third place there across the line. What an effort there from all of the riders. Let's take a look at it one more time as they come on through here. This is in reverse, actually. Whoops. Full speed on the replay. Skoldo goes 11 watts per kilogram with that kick across the line, able to get away from everybody else without even, no, excuse me, it was actually the arrow power-up. So Skolo gets away with a little kick, but it was actually the arrow power-up from Taylor that was able to make that happen. Solid ride there from Taylor from Z-Sun, winning that C category race today. Amazing effort there from all the riders there for sure on the day. So, what a finish frequency says. Come on, bros, grab them by the pony. And I love to see the comments there coming through from Victor WD. Viva Hollandia. Come on, Holland. Dude, I love it. Really cool. Loving it, loving it, loving it. Gotta double check the social media integration. Doesn't look like we have any more comments coming on through. So really appreciate everybody hanging out today. I'm going to give this a rest, but I'm going to go ahead and jump out on Zwift right now. You want to join me for a ride? We're going to be doing a little bit of riding, a little bit of PUBGing, all at the same time. We'll see you over on my personal channel if you'd like to join us. But otherwise, thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll be back with some SCR racing tomorrow, as well as I believe maybe some group workout things. I'm not sure what's on the schedule. I got to wait for a little bit of production management on that one. But again, thanks everybody for tuning in. If you haven't done so already, hit that follow button over on Twitch, and we will see you tomorrow for some Zwift community live action, and over on my personal channel in just a minute for some riding out on Zwift. A couple announcements coming down the road too with some awesome YouTubers that are going to be jumping over on Twitch as well. You want to make sure to want to follow them. I do believe, I know Maven's made a Twitch channel, as well as the Vegan Cyclist has made a Twitch channel as well. I was chatting with them last night, so wait up for that, but definitely go ahead and find them. Maybe even tweet at them. Hey, where's that Twitch channel? Maybe they'll share it up with you guys. All right. Peace out, everybody. We will see you in a few minutes on my channel or tomorrow with more ZCL.